Sunderland have done it. After spending 8 years out of the Premier League, they beat the Blades in the playoff final to get promotion back to the top flight. And that is frankly amazing. But they now have to do what the last 6 promoted sides couldn't, and that's survive the Prem. And we're circulating rumours that Starman Bellingham's going to follow in his brother's footsteps and join Dortmund. That really isn't going to be easy. But this is where I come in, because I have just become the brand new manager of Sunderland, and it's now my job to not only make sure the Black Cats survive the Premier League, I am going to make sure that they win it. And so here is the starting 11 we've loaded into my first Euro with the Black Cats. And if I'm being honest, we might be in trouble, because granted, whilst this team is solid and it's got promoted to the Prem, when they're playing against teams like Liverpool, Manchester City, Man United, their biggest rivals Newcastle, they may just come unstuck. As let's just be honest guys, whilst there are some good players in this team, there's just simply not enough quality here to properly survive the Prem right now. That's not saying though they don't have good players guys. They've got Dan Neil, Anthony Patterson, Daniel Ballard, Tri Hume, Enzo Lefebvre. And on top of that, as you can see, it is an insanely young side overall. Hats off to their recruitment, man, they know what they're doing. And speaking of, we've got that Premier League money and 47.9 million. So there's definitely a chance we can help the Black Cats survive the Prem. But we're going to have to be very damn strategic with who we bring in, because there's a lot of positions in this team that we need to improve. Before we get into all that though, I'm about to have a sit down talk with the boss, and he's made it very clear what he wants from me this year. He wants me to survive the Prem with Sunderland. I did ask him though, are there any players that we're currently eyeing up right now, and are there any players in our team that other clubs are eyeing up? And he said right now we've got no transfer targets, but Joe Bellingham is potentially on his way to Dortmund. And as you can see guys, Dortmund have already been in talks with Bellingham, they've been successful, and they're willing to pay up to 30 million for him. Which honestly guys, I definitely won't say no to. Unfortunately for us though guys, he's only worth 3.9 million. So that 30 million is more like 3. To be fair though, we did get 5 million for him, and he has indeed gone to Borussia Dortmund. I might try to bring him back later on, but for now guys, we are going to keep this quite realistic. And now that we sold Bellingham and he's not in this team anymore, it's now our turn to make a couple of signings to help us survive the Prem. And my first signing was actually Dutch centre-back from Ajax, Yuri Baas, for 3.8 million. He's only 22, he's 6 foot, got decent pace, dribbling, defending and physicality. And alongside Ballard, I don't think these pair will be back together. 11 million was then spent on Saints right winger Tyler Dibbling. He's only 19, but he's 75 rated with promising stats already. And for me guys, I think he can do some good for Sunderland, man. He's way too good for the Championship. Our next signing though could prove to be our most important, as we need a goal scorer up top, so I've signed Mattis Ablin for 16 million. As you can see, only 22, 6 foot, but he's rapid with a good eye for goal, and he's got decent dribbling. And if we are to survive the Premier League this year, we need an out-and-out goal scorer. And to round off this transfer window and our front three, I spent 12 million on Williot Sweetberg from RC Celtic. He's only 21, 6 foot 2 himself, with really promising stats just like Dibbling. And I for one am really happy with the signings we've made, because there's one common theme with them. Just like Sunderland's recruitment in real life, they are all very young players. And hopefully that will mean by the end of this season they've taken advantage of the chance they get in the Premier League, and they'll massively improve. And guys, just look at the difference that transfer window's made, man. We may genuinely have a chance of surviving. Granted, the weakest part of our team is our defence and goalkeeper positions, but I think the team as a whole is strong enough to keep our head above water. Here we are though guys, 8 years after getting relegated, the Black Cats are back in the Premier League, but it's a baptism by fire because they are playing the Pride of London in our first game of this season. And to be honest, this is the perfect test, because if we can hold our own against Chelsea, we can hold our own against anybody. Straight away though, we were on the back foot as Patterson was forced to make a great save here, but we were the ones to strike first as Riggs squared the ball to Williot to get his debut goals for Sunderland and his debut goal this season. Straight after though, we almost took the lead if not for some great defending here. Chelsea though were undeniable, as 10 minutes before half time, Cole Palmer got the equaliser. We weren't giving up though, as Williot just before half time very nearly got us back ahead. I'm buzzing with how we played in the first half guys, we just need to do that again in the second half. 10 minutes into the second half though, they did go 2-1 ahead courtesy of Alvarado. And then with just 5 minutes to go, Jackson got the third for Chelsea to get all 3 points. But losing against Chelsea is not a bad thing. We held our own for a long period of this game, and if we can do that for the rest of the season, Sunderland will once again be a Premier League side next year. And guys, our end of the season stats look amazing. Swedberg 20-7, 18-6 for Tyler Dibbling, 18-8 for Mathis Abline. And on top of that, the growth from all of our players this year is pretty damn impressive too. But has this team done enough to survive the Premier League? Or are they following the pattern of the last 6 promoted sides and getting sent straight back down? They have comfortably survived the Premier League. We're bloody 11th for goodness sake. A solid 19 points above the drop zone, may I add. As you can see though, we're still a long way away from being the Premier League champions, but with this we've completed our first objective, and that is indeed surviving the Prem. But on top of that, Sunderland want to do side quests because they made the FA Cup final where they just lost to Newcastle United. Bloody hell, wouldn't that have been something? The good news is though, with these guys not only surviving but pretty much thriving in the Prem, that means next year hopefully nobody will want to jump ship and a lot of players will be attracted to join the Black Cats, especially in parts of the team we need the most, where it's the defence for us and the keeper role. To be fair though, this all depends on the boss next year and how much he's actually willing to give us to spend. And here we are guys in season number 2, and it's time to sit down with the boss again to see what he wants for us this year. And he's made it quite clear guys, he wants us to push for a top 6 finish. He's only going to give us 34 million to spend though. And I said to him that might not be enough to get us top 6 football because there's a lot of places in this team that could do with improving. And he simply said, that's your problem, not mine, figure it out. Well, that's bloody charming, isn't it? True to his word though, 34 million is in our budget, and like he said guys, we've just got to figure it out. For me though guys, one thing's for certain, we are definitely replacing Anthony Patterson, because not only is he only 75 overall now, he's not even improving anymore. As for this defensive back four guys, I'm really not too sure. I think again, this is going to come down to the development plans, and it looks like Dennis Sirkin's getting replaced because it'll take 111 weeks to become a better player. But still, with only 34 million in the bank, even though we're signing 2 players alone, that's still going to be quite a stretch. We're going to have to be strategic again. Which is why I'm buzzing that I have found Stefan Ortega on the free agents list, 33 years old, 80 rated. I know he's much older than the players Sunderland usually sign, but he could make all the difference this season. Just like our next signing could as well. As Valentin Barco is now a Black Cat for 24 million on the dot. He's only 21 with stats that good already, and because he's only 21, he fits the Sunderland recruitment criteria. Now, I'm not too sure how much difference these pair will make to the team, but I absolutely know they will make it better, because now our defence is a little stronger, we've got a much better and experienced keeper in goal, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is never a bad thing. And here we are guys, it is the start of a brand new season with new players, new signings and new objectives. Let's see how we get on this time against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now guys, it was very nearly the perfect start for us, but Swedberg's shot went wayward. Just 4 minutes later, the Wolves were messing around at the back and Mathis Abline took full advantage of it. And then after some gorgeous play from the Black Cats, Mathis Abline got his second. And just shy of the half-hour mark, Wolves were very lucky they didn't go 3-0 down. Guys, I'm not going to lie, we are smashing Wolves. I will say this though, how we didn't score this, I'll never know. We carried this pressure on in the second half as early on we forced their keeper to make a great save. We however took our foot off the gas at the back and they took advantage of that. We then though went straight up the other end and got Mathis Abline his hat-trick before the hour mark. And then with 15 minutes to go, he got his 4th of the day to mark an incredible win against Wolves. And guys, compared to last year, the difference is night and day for the Black Cats. But we've got to remember, the Premier League is a marathon, not a sprint. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. We are 10th in the Premier League, nowhere near the top 6. I mean, we were a solid 14 points away from it. At the very least, though, we are closing the gap on Newcastle United. That is a pretty important thing. And so is the team improving, which looks to be the case. God, this team's unrecognisable from when we first started with it. I mean, look at the stats this year, man. Mathis Abline, 24 goals, 2 assists in 43 games. Yes, guys, it turns out he was the right choice for the striker role. The thing is, though, if we are to get Sunderland much higher in the table, I think next season we'll have to make some big decisions. Because we've been too loyal to some players in this team, and quite frankly, that is what's holding us back right now. But if next year we pull the trigger on replacing them with much better players, I think we make the Black Cats an elite club in the Prem. And if you think so too, you should definitely like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. It's absolutely free and it helps me out a bunch. And so here we are in season number 3 with Sunderland, and it's once again time to have a chat with the boss. And he isn't happy that we didn't get top 6 football last year, as he feels that we underperformed. And I said there's only so much I can do with the money that you gave me. If you want top 6 football, I've got to have top 6 money. He wasn't happy that I said this, but he did agree. So he's agreed to increase my budget to 57 million. But this time I have to get top 6 football, otherwise I could get sacked. Bloody hell, no pressure there then. But fair play, we do have 57 million on the dot. And with my job on the line, we have to make this money count. And this sucks to say, but I think we have to now replace Ballard and Neil in this team. Because frankly, they're the weakest parts of it, and they are kind of holding us back now. Not for long though, as 24 million was spent on centre midfielder Andy Diouf. As you can see, he's much better than Dan Neil. He's 6'2", 24, and for a box-to-box midfielder, he's perfect. As is our second and final transfer this window, as 23 million has just been spent on signing Valentin Gomez for that centre-back role. He's only 24, he's also 79 rated, and he's absolutely rapid, which in the Premier League is crucial for a centre-back. And now that we've made the necessary improvements in the right positions, it is properly time for the Black Cats to push for top 6 football. This time though, in the first game of the season, it is Derby Day as Sunderland go up against their neighbours Newcastle United. So yeah, we could do with winning this. Unfortunately, it wasn't a good start, as Newcastle United went 1-0 up with the luckiest goal I've seen so far. Seriously, I've got no words for that. And then in the 23rd minute, they went 2-0 up with another rebound goal. We then got a lucky break, as this was given as a penalty, and Abley made no mistake about slotting it away. Then 10 minutes to second half, on the counter-attack, we got the equaliser with this gorgeous goal from Rigg. If these are the types of games that are going to happen next year, bring on Derby Day. With 25 minutes to go though, Castle went 3-2 up as a failed clearance from Barco landed to Gordon. But with 15 minutes to go, we got one back ourselves. This game is actually mental. That was all she wrote though, and we share the spoils at the Stadium of Light. I view that as a good thing though, because Newcastle aren't a pushover, and if we can hold our own against them, top 6 football is definitely on the cards. Especially with how good these end of season stats look, man. All of our attackers got more than 10 goals this year. And not only are the stats impressive, so is the growth from all of our players too. And for the first time since taking over, on paper, it looks like there's no longer any real weaknesses. But has this Sunderland team done enough to get top 6 football? We literally missed out by 3 points. We're 9th in the Prem, 3 spots underneath Man City. But how close is that, man? We're only 6 points out the top 4. But it's not top 6 football, so there's a chance we could get sacked. I hope not though, because I believe if we spend one more season with this side, we not only get top 6 football, we could get them Champions League football. It's the moment of truth though, as season 4 rolls around. Am I sacked or am I staying? And I actually pleaded my case, saying that we were only 3 points outside of where he wanted us to finish, and I feel like we were just unlucky this time. And thankfully, he actually agreed with me. Overall, he's happy with how the Black Cats have performed in the Premier League, and he believes I'm the man for the job. But this year, he wants European football, no questions asked, and we've got 70 million this time to make sure we qualify for it. And you know what, guys? I'd say that's fair, because as I said last year, there's only a couple of things I believe we need to do to this team. One of them is replacing Ortega, because as you can see, he's retiring now, and the other is to replace Tri-Hume at that right back role. And once we sort that out, I believe we'll finally be on the right track. My biggest priority though is bringing in a better keeper, and I think Philip Jorgensen is the answer to my problems, as we spent 26.5 million on him. He stands at 6'4", fantastic stats, only 26 years old. For some reason Maresca prefers Butterfingers Sanchez, so I'm going to take Jorgensen and bring him to a club where he's appreciated. Our second signing though is a big one, as 36 million was spent on fullback Zakaria Al-Houadi. A 26-year-old right back who, quite frankly, from those stats looks insanely well-rounded. And now that we have those 2 additions to this team, it is stronger than ever. And now, guys, we may finally get European football. And as the new Premier League campaign begins with our highest goals and ambitions yet, we also face our biggest test first, as we face none other than Manchester City. It was the perfect start though for the Black Cats as Chris Rigg burst through City's defence and slotted it straight past Edison. And on the 15-minute mark we had a chance to make it 2-0, but their keeper made a fantastic save. Man City though are inevitable, and after 25 minutes they did get back in the game. Then just 5 minutes later the big man himself put them 2-1 up. Oh, I actually hate him, I do. After that it was an even game until the 70th minute where City broke through and Jorgensen made a cracking save. In the dying seconds of the game though, Erling Haaland got his second of the game and all 3 points for Man City. But losing against Man City isn't exactly a big thing, is it? That's one game from 38. If we can pick it up for the rest of the campaign, European football is ours. Well guys, these stats are looking promising, they're looking better every single year, and on paper this does look like a team that's competing in Europe. But will we be playing European football next year if we once again just missed out? We've finally done it, ladies and gents. Top 6 football is secured, and we've taken one step closer to our personal goal in winning the Prem. But how do we take this team even further next year? Because quite frankly, everywhere's fantastic. Our keeper's good, we've got a very solid back four, the midfield trio's good, so's the front three. For real guys, where the hell did we improve it? Well, as Season 5 knocks around, I don't think I'm going to have much choice in it, as the boss seems to have all the answers for me. He is beyond happy that we're playing European football and he's willing to give me 95 million this year to spend. He however wants me to focus this money on bringing in a very good centre back and improving our depth. He believes that's the potential difference of winning the Premier League this year and losing it. And to be honest, I do kind of get where he's coming from, because our centre-back Bass is the weakest link in our back four, and whilst we do have solid depth on our bench, it's not exactly the quality that we need to replace the quality on the pitch with, is it? So you better believe with this 94.6 million, we're going to spend it properly and wisely. And to start off with, that's exactly what I've done, as I spent 46 million on centre-back Abdulkadir Kuzanov. Because he's only 25, 84 rated, 89 pace, 82 defending, 85 physicality, we officially now have the fastest centre-back partnership in all of Europe. 25 million was then spent on Chelsea backup keeper Lewentwi Vasseur because we desperately needed one ourselves. And finally we signed Borja Mayoral on a free as we needed a backup striker. And that I think will do for now. As looking at the team going into our 5th year with the Black Cats, they're stronger than ever, and the bench isn't exactly looking too bad either now. But with how good our team is comes our biggest expectations yet, because the boss did mention the Premier League title, didn't he? I personally think it's too soon to be thinking about that, but if we beat Tottenham Hotspur here, that's not a bad start to doing that, is it? And yes, I've got to call them that instead of the bottle jobs, because now they finally won a trophy. They may have silverware in their cabinet, but they still don't have a good back line, as we tore them apart here, making it 1-0. And shortly after, we very nearly made it 2-0. 10 minutes before half time though, they get an equaliser due to a stupid bloody rebound. How many of them have we conceded so far, man? Seriously. Then straight after, they got a bloody second. Oh my god, what has just happened? Thankfully though, before half time, we did get back in the game. And straight from kickoff in the second half, we almost went 3-2 up if we didn't hit the bloody post here. And shortly after that, we came very close once again. And again, with 25 minutes to go. We were getting chances, we just couldn't finish our dinner. Finally though, in the dying seconds of the game, Swedberg got the third for us to give us all 3 points against Tottenham Hotspur. And whilst I think the boss is not thinking about the Premier League this early, it's not exactly out of the question if we can beat teams like Spurs. And I can't believe it, we were so goddamn close in the end, 2 points away from winning it. Oh my god, maybe the boss saw something I didn't. We were legitimately 1 win away. If we'd have drawn 1 less, we'd be the best team in England right now. And we've even made the semis of the Europa League first time out. God above, what a campaign. As you can see, the stats are by a mile the best they've ever been, and it's not even close. And quite frankly, this team on paper is nothing short of phenomenal. So my question is, how do we take them one step further and win them the Prem? I mean, even at this point now, our bench is stacked. I'm honestly clueless, guys. I'm hoping the boss has some idea of what to do, because I've got none. Well, we're about to find out what the boss thinks in Season 6, and hopefully he does have an answer. And what he said actually surprised me, because he doesn't think we need to do anything when it comes to signing players or selling players. What we need to do is be less defensive and more attacking, because we've now got the quality to really punish teams. We do have over 100 million to spend if we want to spend it, but he thinks it'd be a waste of time. And you know what, guys, the boss was right last year about stuff, so maybe I should listen to him again this year. So now instead of countering with a deep line, we've got a pretty high line with a short passing build-up style. We're also pouring our trust in the boss when it comes to the team, as it remains the exact same. It's time to find out though if the boss is right. Can this team win the Premier League? Well, these stats at the end of the season are bloody promising. I blame 39 goal contributions, 36 for Swadeberg, 30 for Dibbling. Our front three are amazing. And on paper, they just look even better, guys. We've definitely got it in us to win the Prem. Now, this is interesting. With one game to go, we are 1 point behind Arsenal. And as you can see, they play Fulham in the last game of the season, and we play Nottingham Forest. Now, it's on us to win our game at all costs, but if Arsenal lose or draw their game, they don't win the title, we do. It all comes down to this, guys, the final game of the season and the most important game in Sunderland's recent memory. We got the start we were after though, as after 22 minutes on the break we went 1-0 up. Then pretty much straight after we went 2-0 up. 8 minutes after that though, we took our foot off the gas and they got one back. Guys, we haven't won this game yet, we need to pick it up. 10 minutes into the second half though, we did pick it up as we got back in the league courtesy of Tyler Dibbling. And that was all she wrote. The game ended 3-1. We'd done our bit in beating Forest, now Fulham needed to do their bit in beating Arsenal. And it looks like that's exactly what they did as we lift the Premier League title to become the Premier League champions. In the end, we beat them to the title by 1 point. They drew 1-1 against Fulham. But that means my job with the Black Cats is done. If you have enjoyed this video and want to see more content just like this, drop this video a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see another video right now, I reckon you should click here and watch this. Burnley have done it. After spending a year in the Championship, they're straight back into the Premier League. And to be fair, they were unlucky not to get there winning the Championship. But now they face a whole other challenge, and that is surviving the Premier League. Because last time they were there, they got sent straight back down. But that is where I come in. Because my goal with Burnley is to not only help them survive the top flight of English football, but to go on to actually win it. And as I held my first press conference in charge of Burnley, I was only really asked one question. What is my goal this year? And I only really had one answer: survive. But as you can see, taking a look at this team, making that happen is not going to be easy. Because as it stands on paper right now, they're nowhere near Premier League quality. It isn't all bad news though. They have newly signed Bashir Humphreys, who's got a bag of potential. You have Italian right midfielder Luca Colosio, Hannibal, who's a great player, and of course new signing Marcus Edwards. And on top of that, as you can see, none of our best players are over 30 years old, so it's a deceptively young side. And on top of that, we got that Premier League money in 39 million. But this is where the bad news comes in, guys, because that 39 million is going to get increased. Because James Trafford looks like he's joining Newcastle United, Maxime Esteve looks to be joining Palace, and CJ Egan-Riley looks like he's joining Strasbourg. So that's our three best, youngest, highest potential players gone just like that. I know we'll have a lot of money to spend after they've gone on this team, but in order to survive, guys, we're going to have to be absolutely spot on with who we bring in. First things first, though, we had to get rid of all three of those players. Now that we have, though, we've got 87 million to spend. Okay, I think we can make this work. I know that we've just taken a major hit in terms of quality, but guys, 87 million's a lot of money, and spent correctly, we can not only survive the Premier League, we can get a mid-table finish. Now, first things first, we need to replace the defenders that we've just lost. So I brought in Joe Gomez, who in real life is linked. He's only 27, Premier League experience, pretty rapid with well-rounded stats. And before anybody jumps through hoops to tell me that this is unrealistic, don't blame me, blame the internet, because that's where I got these rumours from. We now also need a replacement keeper for Trafford, which is where Gurkan Sakir comes in for Trabzonspor for 15 million. Who, by the looks of it, will be a great fit for the Premier League. 28, 79 rated, good stats. I'm actually feeling quite confident. The next player I signed was fullback Josip Juranovic for 5.9 million, who's also linked. And then we signed Harrison Reid from Fulham for 2 million because in real life he's supposed to be joining Burnley. And so far it has to be said the players we brought in aren't bad. However, we still have 30 million to spend. And if we want to survive the Premier League with Burnley, we need to make one more statement signing. And we've done just that by spending 26 million on Ardan Jashari from Club Brugge, who Scott Parker's actually got his eye on in real life as well. And with how good this guy actually is, he might just be the key for our survival. And guys, I've just shuffled around with the team, and I believe this is our strongest starting 11 by a mile. And in-game, this is how they'll be set out on the counter-attack, with our wing-backs providing support for our attackers, with our two CDMs being deep-line playmakers and holding. In this way, everybody naturally fits into the team. It really is just a question of how these boys are going to handle the Premier League. Well, we're about to find out, as we have a baptism by fire against Newcastle United. To my surprise though, early on, we were the better team. In fact, Colosio almost put us 1-0 up here. In the 25th minute though, Newcastle were testing us as they very nearly scored themselves. 15 minutes later, we had a great chance, but we just didn't take advantage of it. And in the second half, Fleming almost broke through Castle's defence, but they were simply too much for him. Then just 5 minutes later, out of absolutely nowhere, Juranovic pulled this out of his locker. Oh my god, since when the hell could he do that? We weren't holding back on Newcastle though, with 7 minutes later, Fleming almost put us 2-0 up. Just 3 minutes later though, he finally got his goal. With 7 minutes to go though, Newcastle were back in the game as Goodwin scored this lucky rebound. And it could have been 2-2, but Alexander Isak completely messed this up. And because that happened, guys, we got our first 3 points of the season against the Geordies, which I will definitely take. Remember, our goal is to win the Premier League at some point with Burnley, but our first step in doing that is surviving it. Well, we've arrived here at the end of the season, and I've got to say, these stats are looking promising. Zian Fleming got 24 goal contributions, 23 for Colosio. That for the Premier League is not bad at all. And on paper, it's certainly a much stronger team than the last time we saw it. But were they strong enough to survive the Prem, or are we getting sent straight back down? Bloody hell, we've absolutely smashed it. We are mid-table with Burnley. Oh my god, are they OP or something? Guys, what's mental? We actually aren't far off European football. But remember, that's not our goal. The Premier League title is. Having said that, we smashed it in the FA Cup, making it to round 5 as well. We did, however, only make it to round 3 of the Carabao Cup. All in all, though, a fantastic campaign. The thing is, though, I don't know how we push forward this team, because there's some players that really overperformed. Zian Fleming, for example, only 74 rated, but was our top goal contributor. At the start of this season, I'd have been happy for him to get 10 goals. There's a Gurkan Sakir who's improved by 3 ratings this year, who I honestly thought would stay put at 79 rated. And then there's of course Josh Cullen, who's 76 rated, but he's the captain of the team, which makes him one of our weakest links. But do I remain loyal to him for now, or do I go ahead and replace him? Because one way or another, I want to be winning the Premier League with this Burnley side. And in order to do that, we need to be progressing, not regressing. And if you agree with that, you should drop this video a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you're new. Now, we've just arrived into Season 2 with Burnley. This is how we're currently looking. And we've got a total of 50 million to spend. And as daft as it sounds, guys, we can jump from 12th in the Prem to the top 6 if we get our recruitment right. That does, however, mean we're going to have to make some uncomfortable decisions with some players. For starters, Fleming is going nowhere, because despite on paper being the worst player in this team, last year he was actually the best. Hannibal, however, isn't safe. In fact, he's getting loaned out, because last year he just wasn't good enough. I don't believe yet he's Premier League standard. And on top of that, we are going to be replacing Josh Cullen, because whilst Jashari is a fantastic CDM, he needs support in that role. Otherwise, this year, whilst other teams are improving their teams, they're going to get annihilated. So with that being said, we have just signed James Garner for 11.5 million from a relegated Everton side. Because he's only 24, he's already got some pretty decent stats, and more importantly, he's better and can become levels above Cullen. Our second and final signing, though, is the player I'm most excited about joining Burnley. Is for 27 million, we've signed Ipswich Town's Omari Hutchinson, who last year stayed with them despite still being in the Championship. But he's a fantastic player, man. Only 21, already got some fantastic attributes. He's just what we need in our front four. And yes, guys, whilst this team is not as strong as it could be, for Season 2 and what we're aiming for, I'm pretty happy with it. We will, however, still be loaning some players out. For some reason, Roberts and Brownell want to leave as well. I wish I'd have knew that before we spent the money, otherwise we could have brought in better players. However, I don't think we should be worried. We already have a very good team, and I'm hoping that we prove this against a newly promoted Middlesbrough side. And early on, we had a great chance to go 1-0 up, but Juranovic's free kick just went over the bar. In the 17th minute, though, Boro were testing us as they rattled the bar. finally though, just before half time, we got our goal courtesy of Fleming. I'll say this though, Boro are making this way more difficult than I thought it'd be. And in the second half, they continued to be a pain in the backside as they almost got one back with 25 minutes to go. And with minutes to go, they nearly robbed a point. Thankfully though, they didn't, and we just about scraped all 3 points, which really does not fill me with confidence, because if we're just beating teams like Boro, we've got no chance of doing better than we did last season. But bloody hell, look at this, not only have we done better than last year, we've got European football. I've got one question, and it consists of one word. How? I mean, look at the table. We were only 4 points outside of the top 4. Our team is actually a joke, man. How on earth are we pulling this off? Look at this. We even made the semis of the FA Cup and the quarters of the Carabao Cup. I'm actually lost for words of that, man. Burnley are insane. But looking at the team on paper, it's slowly starting to make more sense. Because I initially thought it was a fluke, but we've actually got a really good team now. I mean, look at these stats, man. Colosio, Edwards, Hutchinson. They've all more than pulled their weight. And it's thanks to those stats I know what to do with this team next season to not only get into the top 4, guys, but to potentially win the title. We need to replace Fleming because in comparison to last year, he's massively fallen off. It's also time to really improve and upgrade our defence. And I know we've just signed him, but maybe we should replace Garner as well. Because honestly, I thought he'd have improved a bit more. But if we are indeed able to sort all those positions out next year, as daft as this sounds, in 3 seasons, Burnley could indeed win the Prem. The thing is though, we've got a problem going into season 3 because we've only been given 98.5 million. And if I'm being honest, in order to do what I want to do with this team, we're going to need a little bit more money than that. So with that being said, all 6 of these players are going on the transfer list and they are going to get sold. And these guys are either players that I don't want anymore or that are going to get replaced anyways. And there we go, just like that, every single player has gone and been sold. Which now leaves us 165 million to spend. And trust me guys, I've got plans with this money. And once those plans are completed, this Burnley side will indeed be a title contender this year. And the best thing is, because we've got European football, we can go for bigger and better players, which is where Alexander Pavlovic comes in from Nice for 36.5 million. And he is frankly unbelievable, only 22 and already that good. And guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Because we've also just spent 48.4 million on Wolverhampton Wanderers right back Malo Gusto, and for 43 million we signed Ukrainian goal machine Artem Dovbyek, which annoyingly leaves us a little problem, because I want to also sign Nathan Ake, and as you can see he's worth between 17 and 21 million. But with all those signings and the contract renewals we've just done, we only have 8.5 million left. So until next year, guys, we're going to have to hold off on getting a new centre-back. But I think looking at the team now with the improvements we've made and with the quality that's already in it, I don't see a way in which this Burnley side doesn't at least crack the top 4. Because we've now got a goal machine up top as our striker. Our 2 CDMs are absolutely phenomenal. We've got a world-class winger in the making in Colosio. And for the most part, our defence and goalkeeper positions are solid. It's now time though to see them in action, as our first game of the season is against the Red Devils. And straight away we made it clear we were far better than United, as we almost went 1-0 up here. And somehow only 3 minutes later we missed this opportunity. Seriously, EA need to fix these headers. United were firing back though, as 23 minutes in they forced a great save from our keeper. In the 34th minute though, we put our stamp on the game as Marcus Edwards rifled the shot past Onana. United though were firing on all cylinders now, as 40 minutes in they forced a great save from our keeper. Yeah, United had woken up. And with seconds to go in the first half, they did indeed get back in the game. We started unbelievably strong though in the second half, as somehow we did not put this away. We were trying our best to win this game, as in the 67th minute Onana once again denied us. Seriously, is he a good keeper again or something? I mean, it was getting ridiculous at this point, as he made yet another save here. And again with only 3 minutes to go. And it was completely thanks to him United escaped with a point at Turf Moor. And I don't really know how to feel about that, guys, because if we can't beat Manchester United, we might be in trouble this year. Then again, looking at these stats, maybe not, because they're the best they've ever been. Just look at Dovbyek, man, 42 goal contributions in 64 games. What did I tell you? Goal machine. And on paper, this is truly a fantastic side. But if we haven't won the Prem, I do believe Bayer will have let us down, man, because he's by a mile the weakest link in the team. And that is indeed the case. We haven't won the Prem, but we have climbed into the top 4. Which, considering the fact we are way further ahead with Burnley than I originally thought we would be at this point, I will definitely take. And on top of that, we scored the second highest amount this year, and we did pretty well defending. And on top of that, we've actually won our first bit of silverware in the FA Cup. And we almost won the Carabao Cup as well. I've got no words, man. Burnley, you are ridiculous. And don't forget, we had Europa League football, which, as you can see, we cruised to the round of 16. And that's where we just got past RB Salzburg, just got past Nice, easily swept aside Napoli, but lost to Leipzig in the final 1-0. I'm not even mad at that. I'm just so impressed that we got to the final. At this point with Burnley, it seems like everything is starting to fall into place. But there are one or two things we need to do next season to take them to that next level. The first thing we got to do is replace Jordan Byatt by a milder weakest link in the team now. And we definitely need to improve our squad depth because frankly at this point our bench is all over the shop. But once we've sorted this team out completely next year, we might finally make Burnley Premier League champions. In order to do that though, we needed to make a statement signing for that centre back role. And believe me, that's exactly what we've done. As for only 65 million, we have brought Alessandro Bastoni to Turf Moor. And just look at him guys, he is absolutely world class. And in real life, he wants to move to England, and considering we're after the Premier League title and are now playing Champions League football, it all kind of comes together. And with Bastoni in this team, it truly elevates it to that next level. Well, that's the starting team sorted. Now we need to focus on our bench quality. Now granted, we do have some half decent quality on the bench, but let's be honest, it's nowhere near enough. So I went into the free agents list to see if I could find any bargains, and I luckily found right-back Timothy Castagne. I also spotted Brazilian centre-half Marcao just lingering around there. But guys, this is where it gets good. Because on that free agents list was Dutch striker Memphis Depay, and there was a 35-year-old Kevin De Bruyne just waiting to be signed. Napoli's loss is certainly my gain. And guys, it's safe to say our bench has vastly improved after that transfer window. It's just a question now of whether it's going to make a difference for this Burnley side this year, or whether we'll go straight back to square one in season 5. Well, we have a chance to find out as we face last year's Premier League champions for a chance to win the Community Shield. And I don't think this has to be mentioned, but if we beat Liverpool, that really does put us in a title race. To be honest though, it was a really even battle until the 25th minute where somehow this was deemed as a penalty, and of course Mohamed Salah buried it. Let's be honest though, that was BS. I clearly got the ball. Unfortunately from that though, the game just went downhill for us as 35 minutes in they went 2-0 up. And then just before half time we went 3-0 down. Yeah, that penalty really messed us up. The second half though was much better for us as with 19 minutes to go we did get back in the game. And just 8 minutes later we rattled the post. It was all for nothing though as Liverpool got a penalty in the last minute of the game and Salah put it straight down the middle. And that obviously meant they beat us 4-1 to win the Community Shield. Which I'm just going to put it out there, 4-1 is not a reflection on that game. Until that penalty we gave them a right good run for their money. I'm just hoping this game isn't a reflection of the season to come. But it certainly is, and look at the Premier League table. With 1 game to go, we are 1 point behind Newcastle United. Now, we play Fulham in our last game of the season, and they play Brighton. And honestly, that's a game for Newcastle that's pretty damn tough. But this Burnley side doesn't need to focus on that. We need to focus on our game against Fulham. Because one way or another, regardless of Newcastle United's result, we have to win this game if we want to win the Prem. And we couldn't have asked for a better start from the lads as 21 minutes in, Dovbyek gave us the lead. And then 35 minutes into the first half, we got a penalty, and Dovbyek of course buried it. And he almost made it 3-0 before half time with this attempt. But as long as in the next 45 minutes we keep our cool, we could become the best team in England. However, Fulham were getting back into this game, and our keeper was called upon in the 57th minute. And with 18 minutes to go, their pressure paid off as they did get one back. Bloody hell, this can't be happening. Thankfully though, on the break in the 76th minute, Dovbyek gave us a 2-goal cushion again. And then in the dying seconds of the game, he got his hat-trick to give us our final 3 points of the season. Which means we did our part, we just need Brighton to do theirs against Newcastle United. But they sold us down the damn river. Newcastle United are the Premier League champions. Brighton, you had one job. Just get a goddamn draw, you useless gits. I mean, that would have worked. We scored more than him, conceded less, got better goal difference. was. The thing is, guys, this isn't even the worst part of this season. We ended up winning the Champions League, beating City 2-0 in the final. How can we beat City to win the Champions League, but we can't beat Newcastle to win the Premier League title? At this point, I'm stuck on what more needs to be done with this team to get them over the finish line. Because really, at this point, we should have enough quality top to bottom in this Burnley side to get the job done. As you can see from the stats, our attackers are doing their job and then some. Dovbia, Colosio, Edwards and Hutchinson are fantastic. And considering our back four and keeper conceded the least amount in the entire Premier League, it's not them either. So going into Season 5, I truly don't know where to go from here to get them to the Premier League title. And the thing is, in the new season, we have just under 150 million to spend. But I've thought about it, guys, and I'm not going to spend anything this season. Because despite this team not winning the Premier League, it won the damn Champions League, for God's sake. That says to me, we are clearly good enough to win the Prem. We were just a little bit unlucky. And with us having one of the best keepers in the world now in goal, one of the best centre-backs in the world in our defence, one of the best strikers in the world, and one of the best wingers in the world in our team, I think this year we just need to lock in and we'll get the job done. And that's why every single game this year we're treating like the Champions League final, and unfortunately for Crystal Palace, they're our first opponent of the campaign. However, that wasn't really working out too well for us as they put Palace 1-0 up inside of 16 minutes. Straight after conceding though, this was given as a penalty, but their keeper bloody saved it. Oh my god, this just isn't going to be our season, is it? But we weren't deterred, guys. If anything, we just applied more pressure. But it felt like no matter what we did, we just couldn't bloody score. And what made it even worse, Palace went 2-0 up in the 40th minute. And then it got even worse as in the 52nd minute, they went 3-0 up. Genuinely no words. How are we going to win the Prem if we can't even beat them? Finally though, with half an hour to go, we got past their keeper and we got one back. Despite this though, their keeper was still being a bloody nuisance. Seriously man, who is their keeper? And this chance that we had right here summed up how this entire game went. And yes, despite absolutely annihilating Palace, they beat us 3-1. Gotta be the most BS game we have ever played, I swear. It's a good job the Premier League's a marathon and not a sprint. And guys, looking at how many goals and assists we've got at the end of Season 5, it's filling me with confidence that despite that shocking start, we've had a great campaign. And the team on paper is just as good as the bloody stats. But it's the moment of truth. Have we won the Premier League or have we once again bloody balled it? Well, the good news is at the very least we're inside the top 6. So next year we've got Europa League football at the bare minimum. But as we climb up the table, it's looking more and more promising. Okay, we've either bottled it for the second year in a row or we finally won it. It's the moment of truth though. Have we done it? Yes, we have. Oh my god, we absolutely obliterated the Prem. 19 points clear in the end. Turf Moor's Burnley are the Premier League champions. We have now won pretty much everything with Burnley, and that means my job with them is complete. If you have enjoyed this video and want to see more content just like it in the future, drop it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to see another one just like this, click here to watch me do this with Sunderland. After being relegated 2 years ago from the Premier League, Leeds United made it very clear that they want back into the top flight. And last year they almost did, but just fell short of automatic promotion and fell flat on their faces in the playoffs. This season though, they left nothing to chance, as 100 points in the Championship not only secures them promotion, but they're going up as champions. Just like Burnley and Sunderland though, they face every other newly promoted team's problem going into the top flight, and that is surviving. Because the last 6 promoted sides all had the same fate in getting relegated straight away. And this is where I come in, as I'm going to take charge of Leeds United with only 2 missions. The first is to try my best to keep them in the Premier League, and the second mission is to help them win it. So here is the Leeds United team we've inherited in day 1, and as you can see we joined them at the end of the campaign where they've just won the Championship. And having gone through their team, it's not a surprise that they've done this. For starters, Joel Perot got himself 26 goal contributions, 12 and 9 for Daniel James. Solomon got 10 and 13, 9 and 6 for Nonto, 9 and 2 for Aronson. So our attackers know how to score goals. And what makes it even better, guys, all of the best players in this team aren't even close to being 30 years old yet. And when we have Joel Perot firing on all cylinders up top, a fantastic winger in Wilfred Nonto, a fantastic attacking midfielder in Aronson, yeah, I'm looking forward to kicking things off with Leeds United. The thing is though, whilst this team team definitely has a lot of pros. It also has some cons going into next season. For starters, one of their best players, Manor Solomon, is choosing to stay at Tottenham Hotspur. In fairness though, as soon as Ange Postecoglou was announced that he was leaving and Thomas Frank stepped in, I kinda knew this was gonna happen. They are also losing Junior Firpo on a free. They right now have an absolutely terrible keeper in Malier, who by the way I have no idea what's happened to. Bonnie Blue's got better ball control than this guy. They're also supposed to be losing Matteo Joseph and also Joe Gelhardt next year too, which aren't really big losses in the grand scheme of things, but we're losing our depth up top. So yes guys, even though these guys just won the championship, it's not all sunshine and roses at Leeds United, especially when our goal is to win them the Premier League. But we kick season 2 off with in real life transfers that are going to happen. All 5 of these players are right now supposed to be leaving Leeds. Whether or not anything changes by the time this video drops is a different story, but right now this is supposed to be happening. Not necessarily to these teams, but they are supposed to be going. This does mean though we've got 85 mil in our budget now. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a budget actually worthy of the championship champions. It really is just a case of where we're going to invest this budget now. But in all honesty, I don't really have a choice on that because I've gone off in real life transfer rumours and what's going on in real life. So again, I have to say this, if I get any of these wrong, do not blame me, blame the internet. As for transfer number 1, Sen Lamens joins us for 21 million. The 23-year-old was playing in the Belgian league, he's 77 rated, 6'4", really good stats to be fair. And with how poor Malier was last season, I'm not surprised Leeds United are eyeing up a brand new keeper. Our next signing though actually didn't cost us a damn penny, as Lucas Emeche, formerly a Wolfsburg player, joins us on a free. And he's a very good player, 6'1", 26 years old, 78 rated, good physicality, pace, shooting and dribbling. My only issue with this is I don't know how I'm going to choose between him and Joel Perreault, especially with the season that Perreault's just had. Before I make any more signings though, these are all the players I've got left on my shortlist that Leeds United is supposed to be linked to in real life. Now obviously the logical move here is to sign Douglas Luiz because he's by a mile the best player out of the bunch. However, I'm just not going to do that guys. What I'm going to do instead is go back on all these websites I found these information and sources from and go off who I think is the most likely to join Leeds. And as it stands right now, I believe Xhaka Bajal is definitely destined to become a Leeds United player as we sign him for 10 million. He's a very good player too, 6'3", 26, 77 rated, not the quickest player, but he'll certainly strengthen Leeds United's back line. As for our next signing, 2.2 million was spent on Michael Keane, which to be fair, I do kind of rate from Leeds. They do need that Premier League experience back in the club. Our next signing though doesn't have Premier League experience, I don't believe, but he's a fantastic player in the making as Noah Siddiqui joins us for 9 million. As you can see, only 26 foot tall, 74 rated, fantastic well-rounded stats. We've got to try and find a way to fit him into the team, but I don't know how we're going to do this with Tanaka and Gruev already there and them being fan favourites. Now my last signing would have been Samir Kilasoy, who's just recently moved to Real Oviedo, but for starters it's only supposed to be a loan move. They want me to spend more than 15 million to sign him, and on top of that it's not set in stone that he's actually going to join anybody else. So I think we should leave the transfer window there with these 5 signings. And yes, I do know we've got 32 million to spend, and we could probably use that to try and nab a Douglas Luiz transfer, but honestly I don't see him going from Juventus to Leeds United, not just yet anyway. We however have bigger problems with this team we have to figure out now, and that's where all these newly signed players fit into it, because unfortunately there's only 11 spots in the damn team, so somebody is going to have to get dropped for someone. Now this may not be popular, but Gruev is taking a backseat for Siddiqui. I mean, he's 5 years younger than him and already just as good. We've got to give this guy a chance, and I feel like this is a no-brainer. Perreault has to be dropped for Emeche, but I have a feeling that these guys will be rotated quite frequently throughout the season anyway. And this is it guys, this is how I want Leeds United looking going into season 2, because not only is this in my opinion our best and strongest team, it's also got the most potential. For starters, you got Nonto on the right, you got Aronson in the middle, and Mecha up top who's mid-20s, you got Ramazani on the left, and those are 4 of about 6 or 7 players that really have a chance of great progression this year. As for the tactics, we're going with the same formation. We're going to be using a counter-attacking build-up style, and we've got a 45 line height. because I do actually believe Leeds United are strong enough to pull this off even in the Prem. And we're about to find out if I'm right, as our first game is against a managerless Brentford right now. And honestly, I don't think we could have had a better team to come up against first back in the Prem. The Bees were the better team early on though, as this shot in the 17th minute very nearly struck the back of the net. And in the 27th minute they would take the lead, as our keeper could only do so much. Yeah, this isn't the start I thought we'd get. And straight after, it almost got worse, as this shot went straight past the post. And once again, our keeper was tested in the 38th minute by Young Wisse. Completely against the run of play though, just before half time we had a counter-attack and Nonto almost put us on level ground. We kept applying the pressure, and it was actually new signing Siddiqui who got us back in the game, which was honestly almost short-lived courtesy of Young Wisse. That first 45 minutes though, whilst poor from us, was crucial to know how we can play in the Prem. We are absolutely running the counter-attack. It has to be said though, our keeper's keeping us in this game, is once again he denies Wisse here. We had a half decent chance ourselves 10 minutes into the second half, but Amecha just couldn't get enough on the ball here. 4 minutes later though he did, and he got his debut goal. Those celebrations would be short-lived though, as Young Wisse finally got the better of our keeper. We were getting into this game though guys, as shortly after conceding we almost went back in front here. And with just over 15 minutes to go, Nonto hit the post. Straight up the other end though, yet again Wisse was denied by our keeper. Bro, this second half's crazy. You'll never guess though, this got given as a penalty, and Felix and Mecca slotted it away to help us win our first game of the Premier League campaign. And that fills me with confidence, because the Bees are a damn good side, even after losing Thomas Frank and Mbuemo. If we can beat them, it does look good for our chances of survival. And would you look at that guys, we've not only survived in the Premier League, we've smashed it. I don't know about you, but I feel like that deserves a like on this video, and you should definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new. That's a damn good start though, and what's better, we're only 15 points outside the top 4. But with our target being the Premier League guys, I don't think we should aim for top 4 just yet. Top 8 seems like a more reasonable objective. The thing is though, we haven't got 11th by chance, we've got a very good team now. One that, dare I say, with a couple of really solid transfers next year, could not only crack the top 8 but potentially get top 6 football. As for the stats, Amecha has been fantastic, 25 goal contributions in 42 games. That is quite honestly outstanding. Ramazani got himself 18 and 3, Nonto 8 and 6, pretty disappointing, 5 and 9 for Aronson. Gotta say, the future at Leeds United is looking pretty damn decent. But now it's a case of where to improve this team next year, and the thing is about next season, we've not got in real life transfers to go off. Regardless though, I think Bogle should be replaced with someone better. Maybe sign a stronger and younger left back than Christensen. Honestly, from there though, I'm not really too sure, because everybody else has really pulled their weight and shown signs of progression. This is a headache, but it's the best kind of headache to have when you're in this position. That headache though didn't last all that long, as a little bit of scouting in the Championship found us a brand new left back, as Leicester City's Filippo Teresiano joins us for 18 million. He's early 20s, 77 rated, 6'1", really quick with some well-rounded stats. And to make sure he gets his fair chance in the starting team, undisturbed Christensen is going out on loan. As for the right back, we once again travelled to Belgium to steal Club Brugge's Jean-Michel Aramburu for 25 million. And this guy looks fantastic, 23, 5'9", 79 rated, really well-rounded stats already. It just needs a little spring in his step and he'll be fantastic. And the team right now is slowly but surely starting to come together. However, this season's going to be a 50-50 situation. Obviously last season these guys finished 11th, which was fantastic, and as much as I'd love that to happen again, there's a slim chance it could have been a one-off campaign. Regardless though, we aren't getting an easy start in the Premier League this season. If anything, it's the exact opposite as we face Manchester City. And as you'd expect early on, they were battering us, forcing our keeper into a great save. 6 minutes later, we had a little control of the game, and Tanaka had this fantastic chance from distance. And in the 28th minute, we actually got ahead, but it was real bloody offside. Because of course it was, why wouldn't it be? Our keeper though was on fire in this game, as he's once again denied Haaland here. We were now into the second half and we had a phenomenal start to it, as we somehow took the lead against last year's Premier League champions. Yeah, that's insane. City obviously didn't like this and once again applied the pressure, as in the 58th minute they forced another save from our keeper. Straight from that attack, we went onto the break and we very nearly went 2-0 up. And straight up the other end, the big man up top almost put Man City on even terms as well. Incredibly though, we were the team to strike next, as with 19 minutes to go, we did indeed double our advantage. How on earth are we doing this to Man City? And what made it even better, with 9 minutes to go, Ramazani got the third of the game to give us all 3 points. I'm not being funny, we couldn't have had that go any better if we tried. If we had beaten teams like City, maybe top 6 is a little underachieving, maybe we should be going even higher. And this is good, so we missed out on top 6 by 3 bloody points. The thing is though, I'd be a dafty if that's the only thing I took from this season. Not only did we finish 7th, we're now only 11 points outside the top 4, 20 away from the title, and we had a much better goal difference. So all in all, what we're doing with Leeds United is working. And I personally think the team speaks for itself, guys. I mean, the difference in only 2 years is staggering. And on top of that, guys, as you can see, our stats have vastly improved from last year. 30 goal contributions from Mecha this time, 22 for Aronson, 16 for Tanaka, 12 for Nonto. Baby steps, guys, baby steps. However, unfortunately, if we are to take this Leeds United team to that next level, the time is now to make some brutal decisions. And when I mean brutal, as Tanaka and Ampadu's time in the starting 11, I think, is up. And I know that these guys are fan favourites from Leeds United fans, but if we are to take them to the next level, things have got to change, and these two need to be replaced. The thing is though, with us finishing inside the top 8, our budget should be a little higher than this year's, meaning the quality of the players we'll be able to bring in will be much higher. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been any further from the truth. The board have shafted us with only 54 million. I mean, I know that is a lot of money to spend, but considering we finished 7th last year, it's a little bit short, isn't it? I mean, after all, we're trying to replace Tanaka and Ampadu with much better players. And I wanted to do that ideally with them still being in the team, but it looks like we're going to have to take the route which I didn't really want to go down. Unfortunately though, that's exactly what we've had to do in selling both of these players to take Leeds United to brand new heights. And that's given us 95 million to spend. So not only can we bring in really high quality players now, they will actually want to come to us because we're finishing higher in the Premier League. And that made me cast my mind back to season 1 when we were making transfers, so I went ahead and finally signed Douglas Luiz for 30.5 million. He's a fantastic player, already Premier League experience, 29 years old, and I feel like we timed this transfer perfectly. Last year we finished 7th in the Premier League with him in our team. Maybe we genuinely pushed for the title. We however still needed a brand new centre back, which is where Bafode Diakite comes in for only 24 million. And he's literally the perfect defender, mid-20s, 83 rated, 6 foot, fantastic stats, and there's still so much room for improvement with him. This does however leave us 31 million, which means there's room for one more signing and one more signing alone. And if we are serious about winning the Premier League, we need winners in our team, which is where Kim Min-jae comes in for 25 million. And he, as you can see, will go very nicely alongside his partner Diakite. And now that the window's done, our team looks like this, and it is better than ever. And we already know how well they play. They beat Man City last year. It's time to see though if they can take it one step further and go on to challenge for the title this time. And judging by how many goals and assists we've got this season, I reckon there's a slim chance we might have just done that. I mean, on paper, the team has grown and then some. Look at the state of it. If we haven't finished at least 3rd, I'll be genuinely surprised. But bloody hell, I was miles off. We're 5th in the Premier League, 13 points behind Man City. Okay, I've gone from surprised to disappointed. The thing is, there's not even any weakness in this team anymore, so we can't exactly pinpoint where we've gone wrong. And on top of that, we scored the 2nd highest amount in the entire Prem and had the 4th best goal difference. So clearly we're doing something right, it's just that finishing touch we're missing. I don't know, man, we've got things to work out next year one way or the other. Because if we do want to win the Premier League title with Leeds United, something has to give. So here we are, guys, we've just arrived into the new season and I've finally figured out what's wrong with this team. And it's ironically nothing to do with the starting 11 I've just showed you. It's actually the bench, because there's not enough quality here. For God's sake, we don't even have a second choice keeper. And the ironic thing is we've got 150 million to spend, and I reckon we don't even need to spend like 50 million of this. As I went into the free agents list to see who I could find, and guess who I did find actually? Tanaka, our former player, as he rejoins us on a free. And Julian Rice Ederson, a right back who's 80 rated, also joins us for nothing too. Now though, it's time to spend a bit of money. And so we started by giving Southampton 18 million for their keeper Gavin Bazunu, who's not only a pretty solid player, he's 26 years old, 6'2", and more importantly, already got Premier League experience. And a further 21 million was spent on Everton attacking midfielder Carlos Alcaraz. And yes, the bench now looks pretty damn decent if you ask me. And like I said, we didn't even have to spend half of our budget. Now though, it's time to see the boys in action, as the first game of the campaign this time is against Manchester United. And honestly, anything less than the W here is actually a massive out. It, however, was the worst possible start, as 5 minutes in Lautaro Martinez put them 1-0 up. Yeah, Martinez at United, really realistic. Just 7 minutes later though, Imecha showed us just how much he's improved as he stormed past United's defence to put us back on level terms. United though were a surprisingly strong team at this point, and they forced a great save from our keeper here. Up the other end, Imecha almost put us 2-1 ahead, if not for some great defending from their defence. Unfortunately for us though, Martinez is just phenomenal, man, and we could do nothing about him scoring here. Bloody hell, never mind Gyökeres, United need to get him. And it simply got worse in the second half as Garnacho made it 3-1 to United. With only 18 minutes to go though, we did get one back courtesy of Ramazani. In the end though, it meant nothing as United beat us 3-2 to take all 3 points. And that is such a big loss for us, man. The good thing is though, at least this is a marathon, not a sprint for the Premier League title. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Look at the stats at the end of this season. And Mecha at 30 years old is 87 rated with 43 goals and 12 assists. Arrington's now 86 rated with 22 goals and 14 assists. Nonto's 84 rated 12 and 5. 12 and 5 as well for Largi Ramazani. These are by a mile our best stats yet. And honestly, the team on paper looks genuinely incredible. Maybe, just maybe, we pulled it off this season. And we've done it, guys. 10 points clear, top of the table. Leeds United are the best team in England. It wasn't even close in the end. We left Liverpool, Chelsea, City, Spurs for dead. And in doing so, we've officially made this Leeds United Premier League champions. And that means my job with them is done in only 4 short years as well. Leeds United are cracked. But that is the end of this video. If you have enjoyed it and would like to see more content like this in the near future, drop it a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed me doing this with Leeds United, I reckon you should click here and watch this, because this is a pretty decent video too.